Hi everyone, Aidan here with etrailer.com. Today we're taking a look at the CURT Premium hanging style bike rack here on our 2018 Jayco Redhawk Motorhome. Now the CURT Premium, like I said, is a hanging style rack. That means the bike hangs by its frame. We've got 3 points of contact, 2 straps over the top of the frame holding it down into these cradles here, and then a third strap around the seat post, limiting our side-to-side movement, helping with bike-to-bike contact. Now, it does have a total weight capacity of 180 pounds, so just keep that in mind when you are loading it up, and it is motorhome approved. We want to make sure we get a motorhome approved bike rack because there is going to be an increase of shock and vibration back here compared to your typical passenger vehicle, and your bike rack needs to be tested and approved for use in that setting. Some other things to keep in mind are a hanging style rack isn't the best for alternative frame bikes. You will need a bike adapter bar to ensure that the bike sits properly and level on top of the bike rack. And then carbon frame bikes we want to avoid altogether because that will damage the frame likely with it hanging by the frame. Now the CURT Premium though is different because these end cradles narrow together. So typically kids bikes are another sticking point for these types of racks. You also need a bike adapter bar there, but because these arms narrow together, they're going to work with those smaller frame sizes a bit better straight out of the box. So you might not need a bike adapter bar. That for me is a huge win for the CURT Premium, and it's why I recommend it to so many people. And if you want to, there's even a 5-bike version that's going to have a third set of cradles for those kids bikes and be able to carry a total of 225 pounds and is still motorhome approved. With all that in mind though, let's get the bike unloaded and we can take a closer look at the rack. These straps, all you got to do is just kind of pull them and they'll release from those tabs. Pretty easy. We'll do that for all 3, and then we can just lift the bike up and away from the rack, and I'll just set it to the side for right now in the grass. And I always like to replace those straps too, just so they aren't freely moving around. Helps keep them in their place. And now this bike rack does tilt. Now typically for a passenger vehicle that'd be to get hatch access, but there is an application here with our cargo door. This will let us open it up a bit more. So I'll just loosen this hand knob at the bottom, pull this clip and this pin out right here, and then we can pull up on this hand pin right here to tilt the rack away. That's going to let us open this up quite a bit more. Still not fully, it will eventually hit, but this is plenty of room to get in, get some stuff out of the compartment without needing to fully remove the bike rack from the hitch. Now, you don't want to do this with bikes loaded though, because it does tilt down pretty far. Those bikes might make contact with the ground. Lifting this back into place is just the same thing in reverse. So we'll do that hand pin, this pin and clip. And you kind of got to get it through all the way. And then we'll do that little hand knob last. That hand knob just kind of acts as a stabilizer for this upright portion. So you can see as I tighten it, that movement stops, or at least gets minimized. Coming down to the bottom, we're going to check out our ground clearance. And right there, it's going to be 18 inches. So that's pretty good clearance. I don't think we'll have any issues with that. And we want to also look at our overall distance we're adding. From the bumper to the end of the rack, it's going to be about 36 inches. Now, if we want to leave this in the hitch between rides and we maybe don't have any bikes loaded, we can actually save some space by pulling out this pin and retaining clip and folding these arms down. This is going to be a much easier storage position because it doesn't add near as much length to the back of our motorhome. I'll just replace that clip, and at this point it's only going to be sticking out 13 inches, way more compact and not near as in the way as it was before. Going down towards the hitch, we can see it's working with our 2" by 2" receiver tube and comes with an anti-rattle bolt keeping it solid in the hitch. I'd recommend getting a locking anti-rattle bolt to keep it secure in the hitch and maybe pairing that up with a cable lock. There's a loop for a cable lock right here in the back so we can lock our bikes to the rack and then our rack to the hitch, making sure everything's safe and secure. And overall, the CURT Premium is definitely a great pick. Fits well with your motorhome here, we're not sacrificing any functionality, and it's great for the family with those kids bikes. So for me, it's definitely one I would recommend. Thanks for watching.
Here it is on our test course. We'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action, which simulates turning corners or evasive maneuvers. Next, we're at the alternating speed bumps, which we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or pothole or driving over uneven pavement. Finally, we have the full speed bumps, where we'll see the up and down action, which is just like driving out of a parking lot, garage, or driveway.